You can choose where you want to invest, and you can make decisions based on the information that you're given here and elsewhere. I wanted to throw it in there because I just want to have a good round. These are popular investments. They don't need a lot of capital to start them, so you can start them very small and you can basically work out what you want to do on your own. I'm Phoebe Blamey, and I am going to take you on a happy money journey. This amazing adventure will change the way that you look at your money. I'm the best-selling author of The Happy Money Journey, and I've been in financial services for over 27 years. I know there's a whole lot of anxiety and stress around money, but if you really want to change the way that you look and deal with your money, then this is the podcast for you. Listen in and let's start your journey. When we talk about investments, I really like to talk about diversification and having a few different things in your portfolio. But if you're new to investing and you're not feeling very brave about it and you want to sort of get your feet wet without causing yourself too much angst and pain, then there's a couple of really good tools for that and a couple of really good ways to kind of get your head around your investments. Now, everything we tell you on this podcast is educational only. This is to inform, not advise. And I want you to keep that in mind because you are the master of your own investments. You can choose where you want to invest and you can make decisions based on the information that you're given here and elsewhere because there's lots of places to find information. There's Money Smart, there's the product disclosure statements, there's a whole lot of places. You can seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Of course you can, and we would highly recommend that. I always think, though, when you're going to see a financial advisor, make sure that you know what you want to achieve before you go in because it makes it so much easier for everyone. Educating yourself around money is one of the most important things that you can do because, let's face it, we need money for absolutely everything that we're doing, right? So today I wanted to talk about micro-investment, exchange-traded funds, and crypto. And crypto, I know it's controversial, but I wanted to throw it in there because I just want to have a good round. These are popular investments. They don't need a lot of capital to start them, so you can start them very small and you can basically work out what you want to do on your own. Micro investments, let's start there. So Raise, Spaceship, Commonwealth Bank's got one. There's a whole lot of ING, I think, maybe launching. There's a whole lot of very small investment apps. And what those investment apps do is they basically invest you into blocks of exchange traded funds on the most part. There's not a lot of direct share or managed fund or property investment. And the reason for that is they want to keep the fees low. So low fee, low starting point, and all of a sudden you're an investor. And I really like the micro investment apps because they're giving a good return. They're fairly liquid, so you can get the money out fairly easily. It takes a couple of days. And they use things like roundups so that you're almost investing invisibly. And we've spoken about these products before as if they're a piggy bank, as if they're just where you put your coins, because we don't have coins anymore for the most part. We're doing most of our transactions with tap and pay or with a card or over internet. We're not actually walking around with cash very much anymore. So we don't have that spare change to put in a piggy bank for later. Think of a micro investment app as doing that for you. And there are various degrees of them, and you can do ethical, you can do crypto with micro investment, you can do high risk, low risk, whatever you want. Having a look at that will give you a really good idea of other future investment tools and start to get you comfortable. The micro investment apps also seem to give a lot of articles around what they're offering, what investments are, what are all the things that are possible to be able to do with your investments when you've got them. They're really interesting to give you that starting point, that learning around shares and investments. You'll see that you get dividends paid into your micro investment account. You'll get fees taken out. You might even get capital gains taken out. You might have importation tax credits coming to you, and getting the understanding of what those things are is so valuable because it's making a difference to your life. So now let's have a look at exchange traded funds. And exchange traded funds is traded on the stock exchange. They're a portfolio of shares that are potentially indexed against top 200 shares in Australia, potentially other bonds, other assets, property assets, all of those sort of things. And they're bundled together as an exchange traded fund. So ETFs have several benefits, especially for beginners, actually. So first, they provide diversification instead of you having to go out and buy and sell a whole lot of shares. Because let's face it, when we start investing in particular, we're not investing as share traders. We're not trading funds. We are there to invest for the long term, to get a bundle of things that are hopefully going to raise in value and give us dividends, give us returns. So the returns that we get from shares are called dividends. And in our returns that we get from shares, we might have imputation tax credits. So we might have a tax credit because the company that we're getting the dividends for has already paid the tax on those shares. So we don't have to pay it twice. So that's what they are. ETFs gives us diversification, but it also, and that sort of protects us from one share going down while others go up. It spreads your risk really well. They're also normally very low cost. So they've got lower fees compared to managed funds because they're not being directly managed. So there's no a person there going, oh, buy them, sell them. This is looking interesting. There's no management fees. There's no large fees because they're flexible, but they're actually indexed against something else. If you want to get started with ETFs, you need a share trading platform. So ComSec, NabTrade, any of those sort of things. Most of those broking houses offer a wide range of the ETFs. So have a look at what aligns with your investment strategy. Again, know your risk profile when you're going to invest. It's so important that you know your propensity to risk, because with any investment, there can be a capital loss. With any investment, you could have the possibility of maybe when it's up, but when it suddenly crashes, it crashes. And it can take ages for it to build back up again. And not all companies survive a share market crash. So it's important that you understand that there can be capital losses, there can be big risks, and also there's a timing risk. If you were to retire Monday of last week and you were American and the share market had just crashed, imagine where how you'd be feeling. Whereas Monday in 3 weeks' time, it might be back up again and it might be absolutely fabulous. It's volatile, right? It goes up and down. And it's much more volatile than cash. So understanding your investment, understanding what you're investing in, and understanding your propensity to risk, really important, but reasonably easy to trade in. And on those share trading platforms, I also find there is a lot of information, there's a lot of reading that you can do and a lot of further education you can take. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is crypto, because everyone thinks you can get rich really quickly from crypto. And I know, because I've seen it a billion zillion times in my business, there are a billion zillion scams out there around crypto. And we've spoken about them in past episodes. So I'm not going to go back into it. But honestly, if someone asks you to pay for something in crypto and it's an investment vehicle, let every red flag in your world go off, because it is probably not legitimate. If everything's being paid for in crypto, it is a big, huge, ginormous red flag. And the reason being, crypto is completely and utterly unregulated in every country in the world. There's no regulation to crypto. There's no specific valuation to crypto. It's blockchain, so it's worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And yes, if you'd have bought Bitcoin in 2009, you'd be a millionaire now. But you could also have lost your Bitcoin wallet. Like, let's face it, there's a whole lot of strange around crypto. I have very small investment in crypto myself, and I have watched it go right up and I've watched it go right down. Same amount of money, and I haven't changed it. I've changed what's in my wallet. There's Bitcoin, there's Ethereum, I've moved it from having a whole lot of little coins to having just the bigger coins. And it's actually, honestly, not something that I take particularly seriously. Perhaps I should, but it's something that, you know, given that it's unregulated, given that people have been in a rush to investigate it, given that it's used for a whole lot of fraudulent transactions, it's not something that I feel particularly good about. If you lose your money on crypto, it's gone for good. Many people have lost money investing in crypto. More have lost money in investing in scams. So when you're going to invest in crypto, if you want to give it a try, and I'm not saying don't give it a try, I'm just saying it's a very high risk, very volatile, and unregulated. But I've still seen people make money out of it. One of my friends is an economist. She bought a house based on crypto. That's how she saved her deposit. Quite startling. But only invest what you can afford to lose in that one. See how it goes. It is massively, massively volatile. And do your research. Just because something's trending on social media doesn't mean it's true. And also, if you're going to use a platform, do your research in the platform that you are going to use. Because not every platform that's investing in crypto is actually legitimate. And I saw a friend of mine, I did a podcast. If you go back and listen to our podcast on scams, I saw a friend of mine be scammed out of quite a lot of money investing through what looked like a very legitimate crypto platform. So there's my 3. We've got micro investing, which rounds up your $4.50 coffee to $5, or maybe your $5.50 coffee to $6, takes your 50 cents and invests it in ETFs. We've got direct ETF investing, which you do through a share platform. And we've got crypto, which you can do through a crypto trading platform. All quite interesting investments. If you've got a little bit of spare change and you want to experiment, there is nothing wrong with having a little experiment. I do it all the time. In the case of something that's very volatile, I'll say it again and again and again and again, you may suffer a capital loss. You may lose the money you invest. So be very careful when you're investing in something that's highly volatile to make sure that you're investing only what you can afford to lose. This, again, I stress, education purposes only. It's to get you thinking. Go and do your own research. Go and find out more about these things. Just know that they exist and that they can be a really solid investment for you if you want them to be. Have a go. Give it a try. There's small amounts of money that can be invested, particularly with the micro investment in the crypto. But with the exchange traded funds, generally around $5,000. Have a go, have a look at it, get to know those sort of investment vehicles because they can be really handy for you, particularly for beginner investments, people that are just trying out the market. So have a go and most of all, enjoy your journey. Thank you very much, and I will see you again next week. We pay our respects to the ancestors and elders past, present and emerging. We're grateful and honoured to live on this land and pay homage to the traditions of storytelling communities and connection to the land. Today we're recording from the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Just a reminder to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed listening to today's podcast. And if you'd like to see more of us, you can find us at phoebeblamey.com.au, or you can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram as The Happy Money Journey. We'd love you to get in touch with us and hear your thoughts around money and all things to do with your happy money journey. Have a great week and we'll catch you again next time. Just a reminder that this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It's general in nature, it doesn't take into account your individual needs and circumstances, and we always recommend seeking the advice of a professional before making any financial decisions.